I'm the best ever. I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.
Yo, bounce guy, go off.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
Wilder's in a world of trouble, closing seconds. Can he weather the storm here in the third round?
And the ball to superlative.
Big right hook, lands flush for Cambosos, and that knocks down Teofimo Lopez. We have ourselves a fight.
Khabib Nurmagomedov gets a triangle choke from up top. Gaethje's out, and the fight is over. The triangle choke for Khabib Nurmagomedov.
And Porter gets knocked down. He gets knocked down again. 10th round TKO win. Left uppercut, and then knocks out Leo. It appears he's out cold. The fight is over. It was a counter left uppercut, and just like that, what a left uppercut. I did not see that coming, ladies and gentlemen. I will have to admit, what a fight.
Nice celebration or a 3K video. I don't know, man. To hit 3,000 subscribers and like
Right hook to the body for Campbell. Left hook to the body for Garcia.
and that knocked down Campbell. It was a left hook to the body. Campbell on the ground. The count is on. Can he make his way up? It appears he can't get up. Campbell on the ground, trying to stand up. And the fight is over. Ryan Garcia with a 7th round knockdown. What a performance.
Guys, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, we're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. We're trying to do record numbers today. Ryan Garcia tearing up and crying. What a performance for Ryan Garcia. Yo! My headphones just exploded. I didn't realize how loud it was. Guys, thank you for being here once again. Episode 24, ladies and gentlemen, and it feels great to be back. I hope this light is not shining too much. I gotta figure out how to make it a way where you don't get this glare. But guys, thank you so much for being here. Episode 24. It's been a while, but guys, the voice of MMA, Hispanic Hawani, guys, is finally back. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell for post notifications. A couple of OGs in the building. I see Beta Quest in the building. Says, I'd like to take this time to apologize. He says, what's happening, chat? Drew in the building, my guy Drew. I can't wait to hear some thoughts from him. There's so much to talk about. Cole in the building as well. Said Royd FC, here we come. We're gonna have to bully this man into streaming. No. Listen, I've been dying to stream, bro. I was trying not to rush back like I did last time, and then I would sound like Pop Smoke. But when I tell you my cough will not go away, my wife's cough is just getting away now. What's up, plugs? Welcome to the stream, the OG. It feels great to be back. My beard is not that great, but let me know if I should grow it out, Cole. I'll try to do that. But look how thin it is, man. It's a very thin beard, but maybe I'll try it one more time. What's up, Drew? Listen, so much to talk about. We're gonna have Trey on here soon. The PFL had a big weekend. Kayla losing, which was surprising for most people. They're giving out $1 million bags. I don't know if Trey's gonna want to talk much about the PFL, so maybe I could bring it up and talk about it. But they have Shane Burgos, Anthony Pettis over there. I think they re-signed a deal with ESPN as well too. They're doing big things. Are they the second? You know, we of course know UFC is at the top of the hill, right? But is PFL right under that? Are they ways away from it? You have one championship they have great jiu-jitsu matches from what I hear, which I want to start tuning into as well too. These other promotions are slowly rising. CFFC. Let me know, guys, if you guys like any promotions out there. But an article I wanted to bring up, surprisingly, by the Washington Post. And I hope you guys could read it. I hope it's not too blurry. Let me know if it is, but I'm hoping it's visible on your screen. Let me know if it is or if it isn't. But Shane Burgos said, when I first started in the UFC, I thought I was making good money. I had a little 1-bedroom apartment. I basically had no bills. I had low car payments, right? But then he says, now I have real bills, kids to take care of, and a wife. I put my life on the line, my health on the line every single time I fight. And with 2 kids now, I mean, it's got to be worth it. My last couple UFC fights combined with win bonuses, and this is where I'm reading right here, would equal around what I'm making for 1 PFL fight. Now, I think one of the biggest questions is, how long can the PFL keep making these large payouts and keep the boat afloat and become a real competitor against the UFC? Also, their next biggest card, I think, is not until April. So they're going to have to maybe stagger some events or do something that keeps people interested for long periods of time, because they had a big event this past weekend, but can they keep it going? Conor McGregor getting mad, smells guilty. You see the whole thing with Artem Lobov and now the whole Anthony Smith situation where he replied to, which I want to talk to about as well. Got a bunch of articles that I want to talk about, and I'm just glad to be back, guys. Quickly want to say, apologize for the long layoff. I think it's been 12 days and I haven't had a layoff that long for a long time. Like I can't remember. We've been putting out content almost every day or every other day with shorts and stuff until like these last 12 days, being sick and with the holidays. So we're back. I just figured I'd tell you guys that right now, and I'm gonna attack this content thing as hard as I possibly can soon. So I'm back at full health, so it feels great. You doing UFC or boxing this weekend? I was thinking about doing the UFC event this weekend with Kevin Holland and Stephen Thompson. So hopefully we can do that as well, and maybe some boxing as well too. So we'll talk about that. The whole Charlo thing, which was interesting with Bivol, Canelo, talking trash to Messi, where I have my opinions on that. There's so much to talk about, plugs. So Drew in the building. Drew, what's on your mind with this whole Heary thing? Did he vacate the title because he's ducking Glover? I mean, all right, maybe I'm just joking around a bit too much, and I don't think that's the case. I truly think what happens is, that shoulder injury is bad. But my question to you is, why vacate the title? Francis Ngannou has been out for over a year or about to be, and he didn't have to vacate the title. So why did Heary? Why didn't Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev fight for the interim belt? Why did it have to be for the title, and why did Heary have to vacate? I know the shoulder injury is bad, but I'm just really curious as to if this is a route that Heary had to take. I think maybe Jan fighting Glover in a rematch would have been interesting, but instead it's Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz. And I know Glover said he wanted more time, and it's part of his reason why he was out, but it was quite interesting. Risky, by the way, late happy birthday, man. What's up, Risky? It was great. We got to spend some time together, but we were all sick, so we didn't get to go really out much for Thanksgiving because it fell on Thanksgiving Day. But we just got to hang out. She had a horrible cough as well too, and we were scared of her getting RSV, if you guys ever heard of that. So we just had to be very careful in who we saw recently, but we didn't really get to do much. Happy late birthday. I'm sorry though, Risky. Thank you so much for being here. It's awesome to see Ray Sefo killing it in PFL. I trained with him and his cousins way back in New Zealand many moons ago. Samoan success. Listen, the PFL, I like their format, the whole tournament structure. We'll talk about that as well too. By any chance, did you see Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis happening? I have, and I don't know why I'm so zoomed in. Yes, I have my thoughts on that as well too. Listen, I was wrong as far as I said this fight isn't going to happen anytime soon. And it finally appears, I mean, knock on wood, because you know how these boxing matches go. It really appears that fight is going to happen. I have my pick on who I think is going to win. I'm glad it's happening compared to a Crawford versus Spence, where that hasn't been able to take place. And we could blame the red corner, the blue corner in Crawford or Spence. So I'm just glad that fight's happening, and we'll talk about that more. But without further ado, I know there's a ton to talk about. The Conor McGregor with the whole steroids accusations. Volkanovski, Makhachev. It's another interesting topic that I want to touch on as well too. Alex Pereira saying that Hamzat basically ducked him and didn't want the fight against him. He was just kind of, flexing on Twitter, asking for the fight, but not really wanting the fight after it was offered. So much going on. Volkanovski, if he beats Makhachev, what does that mean? Does he have a real chance? People like Joe Rogan thinks he does. Adesanya, of course, thinks he does. So much to say about these fights, guys. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Let's have Trey in here, and then we'll let the current takes us wherever it takes us. I don't want to take too much time. I've been 10 minutes on here, so let's give a call to none other than Trey Melton. Hit the thumbs up, and we'll get right to it. I'll just read a couple more messages. Drew said, here he isn't, here he isn't a you-know-what and doesn't want to hold the division up. He'll say he'll beat whenever it has it when he comes back. Man, Drew is struggling with the English language, but he said that's a man in caps lock. I don't know, man. You guys tell me, if you guys had the title and you have a big shoulder surgery like Hiri, are you guys vacating the title, or are you guys holding on to it, letting others fight for, the interim belt? Or is the man thing to do, quote unquote, to kind of give it up and say, you know what, I'll come back and get my title, but I have to get the surgery and I'm going to be out for a while. Belt doesn't matter to him. He knows he'll get it back. With guys like Ankalaev, Jan Blachowicz, Glover's up there in age, but will he ever get a title again? I don't know if I feel that confident. People getting better in the division, and fighters creeping up. Like Ankalaev, look, I'm on the rankings right here. Jan Blachowicz, Rakic is another, I think, dangerous and worthy opponent. Anthony Smith, maybe not so much, even though he looked good recently. Jamal Hill, Nikita Krylov as well, too. Paul Craig, no, not so much. But Ryan Spann looking very dangerous, and he says that he's finally training. So he wasn't really taking training seriously or training serious before. We don't know where, we don't know what John Jones is going to do, which is another interesting opponent. But anyways, we'll talk about Hiri more in a bit. Yes, Connor's on Roy. Says Danny Burns. How old are you? I'm 32, old school. It seems that shoulder injury could potentially end his career. Shoulders never recover to even 50%. That's what they're saying. They supposedly the UFC, I think, said something along the lines of this is one of the worst shoulder surgeries they've ever seen, and is not looking good for him. So anyways, let me call Trey and get the ball rolling, guys. Can't wait. Me and Miller call Span. We've been saying it for a while. We've been right on almost everything. It's Trey that's always wrong. Besides Alex Pereira, he proved me wrong, but he did it in the closing seconds, it felt like. New text chat and voice. Look, I did not expect to see that. It looks funny.
How do I take it off?
Oh man, and I'm the old man. This guy doesn't know how to take. Oh, I wish I would have showed them. Go back to what you had real quick, so I could show them real quick.
Is it on now? I don't know what it's doing.
No, you don't have it right now. Look at this guy. Wait, go back one more time.
What are we doing here?
You had it. Just real quick. Just real quick. Look at this nerd. Look at it. Anyways, I'm sorry, Trey. I'm sorry. Let's get down to business, Trey. It's been. You
must have been showing him your camera if you're talking about looking at a nerd.
It's been a while, Trey. It's great to have you back. I mean, you kind of canceled and flaked on us last week, but that's okay. Let me put your.
You over here whining about your voice. You stop doing all that suspect stuff. You know what I'm saying? Your throat might not hurt no more.
I was dying, bro. Dying. It was scary because I was thinking about who do I leave the YouTube channel to, and you were not the first, second, or third person that came to mind. But anyways,
that's because you don't like your views. You don't like building. You don't like building your network.
5 minutes is on the clock, Trey. Thank you for being here. Let's get right to it. Episode 24.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, episode 24. Your favorite role model is back.
Well,
now I know when everybody was going around the table this past Thursday saying what they were thankful for, I am almost 1,000% sure that every single one of you mentioned the source when you were saying something you were thankful for. So for that, I say thank you back too. Now, since we've been gone these past 12 days, Miller making, taking a dozen days off like it doesn't even matter. I mean, it's kind of crazy to me. He's making up sicknesses and stuff, whatever. I'm over here passionate, wanting to do the podcast always.
He canceled last week. I have the text.
I'm trying to do it every day. I'm trying to be on the podcast every single day. Miller does not have that commitment to the channel, says he doesn't want to grow this, doesn't care about you guys like I do. Y'all can deal with that how you want. Go in his Discord, talk crap about him, whatever it is. Miller comes on here talking about growing beards when he looks like a homeless man, Islam. And this dude needs to worry about growing his stature before he goes about growing his beard. Now, since we've been gone.
Rambo, thank you for the $3, bro.
We have so much to be thankful for, y'all. We don't have to worry about this bum in light heavyweight holding up the division by having the belt. Hey, Samurai, Warrior. I don't remember Warriors and Samurais getting shoulder injuries. I remember that being the strongest part of their body. I mean, come on. I guess Yuri needed to punch a couple more trees and go over there and meditate on a solid slab of concrete a little bit more. Maybe it would have helped his bones be a little stronger, his joints be a little stronger. Come on, y'all. We know why he vacated the belt. It's not because of a shoulder injury. This is supposedly all he ever wanted. This is supposedly what he was destined to be. And now he gets a shoulder injury and immediately says, "Yeah, take the belt back. I don't want it. I'm not the champion. I don't want it. Take it back." This guy, this is the Samurai? This is the Warrior? This is the guy that Drew sits in here and slurps off half the time talking about how good he is, how he's the next best thing. And the dude can't even defend. The dude's getting hurt in camp. He's got wrestlers he's wrestling with that are hurting him because obviously, I'm going to assume, I mean, they didn't give out the details really, but I'm going to assume he was wrestling, training in camp, tried to get out of something or do a maneuver and hurt his elbow, tweaked his shoulder, hurt his shoulder somehow. And now he's vacating the belt. Some samurai, some warrior, some ninja, whatever else he claims to be. The dude released a horribly spoken video and even dumber dialogue under his caption for his Instagram video. I was struggling just to read it. Now, I couldn't be happier. Now, listen, I'll say this. He's not as much as a bum as Aljo is, but Aljo's just sitting there running from Henry Cejudo, being scared. Talking about he only wants to fight 2 times a year or something. Yeah, because you know your time's running out with the belt, buddy. Yeah, you're a nobody. You got a cornball haircut. You act like a cornball, and you are a cornball. But what a thing to be thankful for, y'all. Now the rightful champion can come up and claim his belt once again, and I cannot wait to be cheering. Let's go, Jan. Let's go, Jan. Because that's going to be your next champion again. I've already told Drew.
Really?
I've already told Drew. He shouldn't have lost the belt to the Glover. It was the worst he's ever looked. It was a fluke loss, and it'll never happen again. But that's okay. Glover got his karma. Glover got his weird tap out at the end where he barely lost the belt when he was whooping Yuri the whole time. People don't want to talk about that. Yuri was losing that fight, and then he finally at the last second choked out Glover when he was going to lose. So Yuri already wasn't the guy. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention he fights like this with his hands down. You can't even see his hands. He's got his chin poking out there like Pinocchio's nose. But get ready, y'all, because your next champion has already been the champion one time. He's already shown he knows what it takes to get to the top. He's already shown he knows what it takes and the power it takes and the hands it takes. He knows what it's like to lose the belt. So I can promise you the next title shot he has, which is coming up December 10th, I believe, he will claim that title. He will win and be victorious, and he will be the new champion once again, baby.
And there you have it, guys. I apologize for another wasted 5 minutes of your life. We have Trey here, episode 24. Listen, Trey, let me ask you this. If Jan is going to be the champion again, you have him beating Magomed Ankalaev. Little trivia for you, since you're the betting guy. I mean, the one that loses more than wins. Do you know the odds for that?
We established that. We established that. I'm up on Miller all the time. We established that.
You're really not. I'm not even going to debate those lies.
I'll pull it up right now, and I'll show it on camera right now.
Listen, do you know the odds for that fight? I know them already. Don't look them up. We could play a little
I don't know the odds for that fight.
What do you think it is?
Here's what I want to know before I answer this question.
Okay. Please.
I want to know how old Magomed is.
That's fine. I'll look it up. Call me Jamie on Joe Rogan. Magomed.
Yeah, that's about all you're good for. You don't know any real information. You got to look everything up.
Record. Or not record.
No, not his
age.
Record, his age.
Yeah, I think he's like 18-1. Do you want to take a guess on that too, since we like playing the guessing game?
I'm going to say 29.
No, way off. He's 30 years old. He's 30 years old, 18-1. he's 18-1, 30 years old. Yeah, you're like 365 days off. That's a lot. Yeah. What do you think the odds are?
I'm gonna say Magomed is a. What do I think they should be, or what do I think they are? That's two different things.
What do I think they are? What do you think they are?
I think they are.
Yes.
Magomed favorited.
Okay.
And I would have him.
Okay.
I would have him 165, 175. I would assume they would have him around there.
What do you think they should be?
What they should be.
Okay, this is what I want to hear. Yeah.
Is Jan.
Wow,
should be favorited. It would be way closer, but it should be Jan favorited 135.
Ready? I need a little drum roll sound. The odds is Magomed Ankalaev is in fact the favorite at a minus 240. Where Jan, I believe, is a plus 200 underdog.
Slam.
No.
Slam Jan.
No.
Slam Jan.
No.
Put your house on it. Put your baby on it. Seriously.
Magomed Ankalaev is dangerous, bro.
He's dangerous. He's all right.
Why do you feel so confident about
Jan knows what it takes to get there. Jan's seasoned. Jan's a vet. He knows what it takes to get that belt. He's had it before. He's tasted it. He wants it again. He wants it again. He don't care about the notice. He don't care about how long it takes. He don't care about what it is. Glover, a punk, old, doesn't have it in him. Doesn't have the stamina. Jan's ready. Let's go.
He's 1-1 in his last two.
Here we go.
What happened against Glover? I don't know. He gets a knockout win against Rakic. But Magomed Ankalaev is a whole different monster. I mean, the guy's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fight win streak. His only loss was to Paul Craig. And his only loss was to Paul Craig. And do you remember that fight? Yeah. He lost it like in the last second.
Yes.
He lost it like in the last.
That was a big upset, right? That was a huge upset.
Paul Craig. Yeah,
it was a big upset, I think.
The submission specialist. And it was in the very closing seconds of the third round.
Name the 9 guys he's beaten since then.
I mean, Abreu.
Let's hear this.
Ian Cutelaba, he beat twice in a row.
Johnny Walker knocked that boy out.
Krylov, Ozdemir, Thiago Santos, Anthony Smith. Not horrible.
So who did you name? Who did you just name right now that I should even care about? Who did you just? Anthony Smith.
Anthony Smith is ranked like number what, 5?
Anthony Smith is having to drop stuff about Conor McGregor and talk trash on Conor McGregor to get a response out of Conor for anybody to even talk about him. People know Anthony Smith as an analyst now, not even a fighter.
Which it would have been a great transition because I do want to talk about Anthony Smith. I have that on the menu. We'll get right back to that. As far as him and Conor McGregor, I think Anthony Smith is ranked what, number 5 in the division? Yeah, number 5. No, Anthony Smith is a good win. Ozdemir is not a bad win as well either.
Correct.
He has some names on his resume, but yes, Jan Blachowicz is moving up, and he's fighting the number one contender practically.
Thiago Santos. Anybody know where he is right now? That's one of his most recent wins. Anybody know where Thiago is?
He lost to Ankalaev.
He's fighting for the PFL right now,
which is not a bad thing. They have a couple names. That's all I'm saying. That's another conversation that I want to have.
They got 4 names that would get spit on in the UFC.
Who's that? Because I like Shane Burgos.
They have Shane Burgos. Yeah, he left. And him,
Right.
I seen that whole money thing you talking about. Him talking about not getting paid all. Yeah, okay, buddy. You've had one fight with him. Let's see how many times you get that.
Dana White was not happy that he was let go. That he got away.
Let's see how many times you get that.
Which is a good point, and I want to talk about pay in the PFL. But let's go back to Ankalaev versus Jan Blachowicz. Why do you feel strongly that Jan Blachowicz is going to win? Because Magomed is a very dangerous opponent.
Jan, he's never. First of all, out of all them guys you just named, nobody's seasoned like Jan is. Nobody's had the belt and been to the top like Jan has. Nobody knows what it's like to fight real competitors like Jan does.
So you don't like any of the wins, Krylov, Ozdemir, Santos? No. You don't like none of those wins?
Maybe I'll give a little bit of Krylov.
Nikita's a nice win. And that was a unanimous decision.
I'll give a little bit. He's inconsistent, though. He's inconsistent. That's why he's not where he's supposed to be.
You don't like the Kudalaba win at all?
No.
Even though he lost recently, too, as well.
Couldn't care less about him.
Right.
He ain't moving no paper.
But it's like any fighter that's climbing up the ranks. He's not going to have the big names, and now is his coming out party. But you could say the same thing about Makhachev. Didn't fight anyone as far as a huge name until he basically fought for the title. But nobody denied his skill level.
Because no one would fight him. He was trying to fight all those guys. No one would fight him.
Which is a good argument. Now, Magomed Ankalaev, what you're saying is he's not really on that kind of level yet.
Who has he fought that I should care about?
But you could say the same thing about Islam before the Oliveira fight.
This is like y'all mentioning Ryan Spann, acting like Ryan Spann is relevant.
This
is that bad. This is that bad.
Didn't you have him lose in his last fight? Weren't you wrong about his last fight?
I still have him lose. I still think he's a cornball. I'd let him know that if he was on the stream right now. He is a bum. I'm not a fan.
You would fold like a blanket, and Ryan Spann is dangerous.
Listen, would he whoop me? Absolutely. And I would still let him know, hey, listen, you can probably whoop me for saying this, but you are a bum.
How do you feel about Magomed Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz being the main event? Let's kind of shift gears as far as same fights, but the whole situation is interesting.
First of all, Glover, you know what I'm saying? There's like the whole time where he couldn't come to America and all that stuff, had to wait all this time, finally fight, finally make his run, finally get the belt, have a big win. Everybody's talking about him. He makes history, and then he doesn't want to even fight for the belt again.
Well,
and he's talking about he needs more time. Talking about it's too soon. Right. He's gonna have to adjust and refight. Are you a fighter or not? Are you a competitor or not? We all know it doesn't matter who you're fighting. You're gonna go and wrestle him. You're gonna try and take him down to the ground. You're gonna wear and tear him, and you're gonna try and tap him out. You do the same thing every single time, Glover. So please tell me, what do you need more time for? Is it the defense? Is it how to take him down? You're telling me you've been fighting all these years. You're a 42-year-old. You've been a vet for what, 20+ years in the fight game, and you can't adjust to that?
And he knew he was fighting at least, so he's in training where these guys, they didn't know they were going to fight Glover.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So that does trouble me a little bit because I start to think of, was this a mistake? It reminds me, this might not be the best example, the whole Frankie Edgar and Sean O'Malley situation. I'm like, should Sean O'Malley have not said no to that fight? But at the end of the day, it paid off and it wasn't a title fight, right? So you got to be careful when you say no to the UFC. Now, did Glover do the right thing? I don't know. Because maybe even after Magomed Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz, maybe he gets the winner.
Maybe, but then it's like, now they have all that time to prepare for you also. And you're a one-trick pony.
I would have liked the Jan Blachowicz fight Glover a lot, too, as well. So the rematch.
I wanted to see the rematch. Why would he not do that?
But they offered him Ankalaev first, right?
Yeah, they offered him Ankalaev. He said no. And then I think they
offered him Jan Blachowicz after that.
Yeah, I think they offered him Jan after, and he still said no.
And he said, yes, in Brazil, I need like one more month. And I guess they needed to have a main event on the scheduled date of December 12th.
He did. Yes, you're right, yes.
So, I mean, come on. Trey. Hispanic Hawani.
You're good for something.
So is this a big mistake by Jan Blachowicz? I mean, not by Jan Blachowicz, by Glover Teixeira is my question to you.
It could be, because he could end up never being the champion again. He's 40
years
could end
old,
up
for
never
40,
getting
what?
never getting to fight for the title again. And I know that sounds crazy, but
Now,
it's like,
I want to say something. 43 years old. I want to say something
43.
weird. I want to say something like just thinking outside the box a little bit. What's up, Tommy Mead? Welcome to the stream. First off, I am on a work break, but DC, you're right on this. Says Tommy. I smoke PFL on the weekend. Says Tommy. He don't want to know more. A man with a 10-fight win streak. Says Beta Quest. I mean, we're gonna have to bear with Trey. We're gonna catch up with chat in a little bit.
those are little fanboy groupie boys in the chat today. I see.
I was gonna say, does it? Just thinking outside the box, does it benefit Glover that he kind of trains with Pereira? Now Pereira's the champion. Maybe he's feeling himself a little bit, thinking he has some kind of leverage. Do you think it has anything to do with that? Here's just what I think about.
Does it benefit him that he's training with Alex Pereira? Yeah, I mean, it'll help his striking out, and he'll know what it's like.
No. I mean, with his relationships with the UFC and negotiations, at all.
Oh no, I think Dana could care less about that. And what's his name, Hunter? I think they could care less about that. They don't care who your partner's with, who your buddy
Right.
with. You know what I'm saying? That don't matter.
I wonder.
Are you moving the paper, or are you losing it for him?
I
That's what it
wonder how
comes
the
down to.
UFC felt with Glover saying no to them. Glover's a veteran, though. He's been there for so long. Am I a little disappointed that he didn't take the fight? I would have loved to see him and Ankalaev. And this is for the.
What do you mean? It's not like they can be upset about it. He doesn't have to take that fight. It's not his fault that it got canceled.
It's just weird because him saying no to the vacant title. It wasn't an interim title. That's different. I get it.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you've been training this whole time. Now they're gonna give you a random. Like, are you that scared of Magomed? Like, really? You're actually that scared? I mean, just check his resume. He ain't beat nobody that you ain't beat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He ain't even beat some of the people you have beat. So it is what it is. Jan's going to go in there. He's going to dominate. Glover looks like a punk. You can do the Jan and Glover rematch. We can finally see it again. And then Jan can actually beat him and show him what it really was.
I'm a bad friend, Trey. And because you feel so strongly on Jan,
I believe that.
I'm a bad friend. I will see you down and I will kick you down further. And I say that to say, if you want to, feel a little froggy on the Ankalaev Jan Blachowicz, since you feel so strongly on that fight, you just name the price, and
friendly 20. You know what it is.
There you go. It's like taking candy from a baby.
Let's
It
go,
really is.
yeah.
It's like
weird.
It's like taking candy from a baby.
It's like taking candy from a baby if the baby was way bigger than you and could beat you up. Yeah, it's about like that.
Before we get back to the light heavyweight division, let's quickly just take a crazy turn with this whole Conor McGregor thing since it's in the title. Conor McGregor.
Yes.
Is he on steroids? Is Anthony Smith being a hater? What's going on in your honest opinion with Conor McGregor?
First of all, Anthony Smith is absolutely a hater. I've told y'all plenty of times. I'll say it again. I can't stand this bum. He's doing anything he can to stay relevant right now because you want to talk about a gatekeeper. That is the king of gatekeepers in the UFC. He ain't never getting a title shot. He ain't never winning a title. I mean, that's definitely not going to happen. The fact that he even wants to pursue that or even thinks he can do that is hilarious to me. He's just saying, chirping, doing whatever he can to get a reaction. Now, here's the real thing. Yeah, Conor is on steroids. That's how you heal fast, baby. That's how you get them bones to connect back together and speed up the process and come back faster and better and stronger and with better IQ more than anyone can. Absolutely. So, yeah, Anthony freaking little Cougar Heart Smith. Yeah. He's a little rat.
Cool.
You little rat.
Did you see Hamza doing the impression of Conor McGregor? I gotta send you that video.
You little rat.
Now let me read something to you. I have it here. I'll show the ladies and gentlemen watching as well too. It says here, a USADA representative told UFC broadcast partner ESPN that McGregor is not likely going to get special treatment. He's not enrolled in our testing pool and would have to be for 6 months unless an exception is granted, which we do not think would be applicable. Now, money talks.
What do you mean by that?
We'll see what happens. What do you mean it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. Conor can go and take roids every single day if he wants to. And if he comes back and tests clean every single time, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. When you're not on the books, when you're not on USADA, he could do whatever he wants. He could be snorting lines of cocaine longer than the freaking road you drive down, and it don't matter.
What I think they're talking about is that there's usually a 6-month wait. We heard about the whole Cejudo waiting for it after entering back in the USADA pool. I think what they're saying is that McGregor might be likely to cut that 6-month hold because he's not in the testing pool now. So the earliest we'll see him is 6 months from now, which is outrageous, right? So he might try to come back earlier than that and get some kind of exemption. How do you feel about a possible exemption for Conor McGregor on his return?
I love it.
Or should he?
Talking about the, You're talking about the number one moneymaker. You're talking about the number one fighter, the best on the mic, the best in the octagon.
He's
You're
one of the most
talking about
tested fighters,
the people's champ. The people's champ. Talking about going to hell and back. He's seen it all. He's been on the top, 2 belts. He's had a broken ankle, been in nobody laying on the freaking ground in the canvas, yelling about some other dude's wife. This dude deserves that. He made the UFC what it is. Dana says yes to whatever Conor says because he is the UFC.
You ever looked at the pay-per-view numbers as far as the best-selling pay-per-views? Conor's on almost every single pay-per-view. There's like maybe one I think that he's not on.
And that's like all-time pay-per-views. That's not
that's
just
all
UFC.
time. Yeah,
that's not just UFC. Yeah,
it's insane. For UFC is mostly like he's one of the best-selling fighters of all time, maybe the best-selling fighter of all time in a sense. So if they make an exception for him, will I be upset? That's tough. Now, he has been on a losing streak, and I don't know. This is where it might sound a little bit blasphemous. This might sound a little bit blasphemous. Is when Conor McGregor comes back is going to be huge. I think it does depend a little bit on the opponent, and if he loses one more time, does he lose a little steam?
No, it doesn't matter.
I think if he loses again, it's
that
book is starting to close.
This is show business 101.
Yeah,
you,
but
okay?
you lose.
No. Listen. Let me teach you something about marketing and about a brand. Right?
Yeah. I'm sure Trey's a specialist on this.
Because you know who I am. I got everybody in here on my Johnson every time I come in this chat.
Right.
When you're somebody like Conor McGregor, you get popular off of being the guy, off of being the cool guy. People are like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Like, I love this guy. He's hilarious on the mic. He can fight. He does crazy stuff. He talks however he wants to. Like, this guy's amazing. All right? That's how you become popular. You get big.
Okay.
When you become a superstar, okay, when you're the biggest thing walking around, that's when people, you have the people liking you, hyping you up and everything, but there's even more people that want to see you lose. There's even more people coming that want to see you fail, want to see you crash, want to see you burn, want to see you get beat up, want to see you get knocked out, want to see you bloodied up, want to see you have that broken ankle, screaming, freaking out on the mic, doing all that stuff. Want to see you on roids looking bad and not want you to be back in the UFC. That's when you're a superstar. When you not only have people want you to win every fight, but you have people coming to the fight, wanting to watch this fight just to see you lose. That's all they want. They don't even care about anybody else on the card. They just want to watch you lose. That's the difference between Conor McGregor and every single other fighter on the UFC.
Maybe. But an example that I think is fair to use at the moment is Masvidal. When he knocked out Ben Askren, he was on top of the world. Then he fights Nate Diaz. Then he fights Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington, right? He was on top of the world. He lost 3 times in a row. And I think it's fair to say Masvidal is still a big name on paper. He'll sell good. Listen, he has a fight. If he fights Leon,
I don't know how.
I think him versus Leon Edwards would be massive. Potentially bigger than him, than Edwards versus Usman. But what I am saying is that if Masvidal already lost that steam and he doesn't have that kind of, not following, but it's just not, there's not that much excitement anymore. I truly think if Conor McGregor doesn't get a win, and not only that, a good win, like against someone like Michael Chandler, I think we're gonna lose a little bit of interest. Just
Let me ask you something.
Just,
let me ask you something.
Like, I don't know if the pay-per-view numbers are gonna be as amazing as they once
they
were,
will
or
be.
even.
They will
I
be.
don't know. I don't feel strongly
Listen,
about
let
that.
me ask you something. What belt
He's up there in age.
What belt has Masvidal held?
The BMF, maybe. that's about it. Right.
That thing's a joke now.
Right, but
and
the
he's
way
got Gilbert Burns working him for the BMF belt now.
And the performances, the way he knocked out Ben Askren was absolutely phenomenal. Now, Conor McGregor, one of the most exciting fighters, and he brought the trash talking with it. I don't know.
He was winning the Poirier fight before he hurt his ankle.
I don't
he
even know.
Was.
I don't know.
He was. Miller, he was winning that. Miller, here and here's the other thing. Masvidal, I don't even know if he's won a round in his past 4 fights. I don't know if he's won 1 round. He's been getting brutally knocked out. Like, he looks awful. He actually looks bad. And then he's doing corny stuff like stealing off on fighters, like running up on them in public and hitting them and stuff. Like, dude, you're a cornball.
Look,
that's why nobody wants to watch you.
Conor McGregor's on a whole nother level compared to a Masvidal.
That's what I'm saying. What has Masvidal? I've brought this up before. Who has Masvidal really beat?
No,
besides
McGregor,
Ben. If he
champ.
didn't have the Ben Askren knockout, Masvidal is a nobody still fighting in the streets.
That took him over the top. But again, because of his recent losses, nobody really cares about him as much, unless it's a Leon Edwards fight, because of the history. I think Conor McGregor, with fighters like Nate Diaz exiting, I don't think there's really much. And then Poirier, I don't think anybody wants to see that again. I think he's losing interest as far as opponents. Chandler may be one of the last names for him. I can't think of a better name. I don't want to see Poirier again. You give him a title shot against Islam Makhachev, okay, people will tune in, but nobody really thinks that McGregor's going to win.
First of all, listen,
you know what I mean?
They're not going to do that. But if Masvidal and McGregor fight, you better believe that card will be one of the top 10 all time. Absolutely. Yes,
on pay-per-view wise,
with Khabib, yes, with Khabib
I don't think
there
it'll
also
happen,
and everything.
Maybe.
Bro, if that. Miller, you talk about wanting to have a big fight. That would be the biggest fight in years that we've had.
Wait, Masvidal McGregor? Is that what you meant to say, or did you mean to say Makhachev?
I meant to say Makhachev and McGregor. Yes,
right. It'll be massive. I'm just saying I don't think he has a lot of those cards left. That's all I'm saying. Because he's most likely gonna lose against Makhachev, and then what? A Chandler, and then what? You get what I'm saying? I just think, and he might have trouble making 155. He might have to go up to 170. He's not going to be as dominant up there. You know,
he comes back. He comes back and beats Chandler, and then what? Then he goes and fights Makhachev like his plan to be.
That's a good. That's why I'm saying.
All right.
I'm saying it's contingent on him.
Put it like
it's
this.
contingent on him winning. He has to win.
Put it like this then.
Mm-hmm.
He comes back. He fights Michael Chandler, which I think he should fight. Oliveira, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? He comes by,
right.
You get your wish. He fights Michael Chandler. Right. He beats Michael Chandler. However it is, I don't know.
That's a big if.
Okay.
Right.
No, listen, just follow me. He beats Michael Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
They make a match. UFC finally gets on board, makes a match for Islam Makhachev and Conor McGregor.
Huge. Massive.
Yeah, massive, of course, huge. Everybody's talking about the biggest thing in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Conor fights, loses, gets whooped.
Right.
Gets choked out.
Right.
Now what?
Does
he lose? Does he? No.
Yes.
Does he lose steam, or or because he
Yes.
got that one win over Michael Chandler? Does he have all the steam back and everything, and people want to see him even more?
I think that helps build the Makhachev fight, but he needs to win. Is all I'm saying. He needs to win. Do you agree with that?
Here's the whole point. Nobody cares if Conor McGregor comes back and beats Michael Chandler or not. Nobody cares about that. They just want to see him go out there and see what he's going to do.
Yes, but if he loses again, which will be like, what, a 5-fight skid or something like that, it's pretty bad.
He beat Donald Cerrone and then lost to Dustin Poirier twice.
Right. And who was the other one? I forget. But anyways.
That's it.
He needs to win badly. That's all I'm saying. He needs to win badly, and if he doesn't win, that whole being the number one pay-per-view guy is just starting to come down little by little.
Miller, It really won't though. But here, even if it does, listen, the gap is so wide that it could come down half, and he would still be the top pay-per-view guy in the UFC. You understand that? That's the difference.
Can I read you one of the worst takes I've ever read? It was by
somebody in our chat.
Sadly, yes, and it's a good friend of yours. Andrew Wheat says Conor would KO Leon, and I really believe that.
I believe that too. Leon was getting whooped.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting. That's disgusting.
I understand. Leon Edwards has one of the coldest post-fight interviews ever. I understand that. Headshot, boom, you're done. Right? I understand that.
Done. Dead.
But if you think Leon is some great fighter, is some superstar, he was getting absolutely worked.
He took the back
4-0. He didn't win one round that fight.
Call me Kyrie Irving, call me a conspiracy theorist. Trey, he took the back of Usman. That altitude was different. That's all. The altitude
might have played a factor in it.
Played a huge factor.
It might have. It might have.
It played a huge factor.
But they come back down to the altitude when they're in Vegas. So
I think Leon beats Usman in the trilogy fight. I feel pretty damn good about that bet as well too. I can't wait for that.
Leon might get knocked out by Usman.
I don't think so. No chance. The worst that will happen to Leon is he gets held down, he gets taken down, similar to the second fight, and he loses a decision. I don't think he's getting knocked out. I think Leon knocks out maybe Usman again. I don't know how we got to this conversation, but I'm glad. Like, we're all over the place and it's nice.
That's why we're flowing. We don't have necessarily anything specific we really have to talk about if you think about it.
I think Usman doesn't come back the same fighter. It was a really bad knockout. It was a really he has really bad knees. Well, he's not, because George St. Pierre is.
So now we care about bad knees.
Oh,
so now we care about bad knees. But when we got zombie boy noodle knees, cornball Francis Ngannou walking around in the octagon, then he's a warrior.
But he found a way to win.
Great.
He won.
He accidentally won.
He won. He did something he never did before.
Looked like a bum.
He won. He did something he never did before. Got a takedown against one of the best strikers in the world in Cyril Gane. That's a really tough fight as well too. Francis and Khabib is one of the best fighters in the world. He might beat John Jones if they fight in a heavyweight fight. I don't know. He might just be too big for John Jones. I don't know.
Yeah.
He might just be too big for John Jones. I think, and I'm
you don't
a
actually
huge.
Believe that, right?
I truly believe John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time. I don't.
He is.
Nobody has had the run that he has had. I know the whole steroids thing. Listen, he beat people at their own.
He's doing
right. That might just be too tall of a task. Francis Ngannou is that big.
You're drunk.
I'm dead serious.
You're so drunk.
I'm dead serious.
Who says Francis is going to come back the same with old noodle knees?
Good
question. Think John Jones is going to tear up his legs? He's going to maul his legs.
Listen, Francis Ngannou lands one time, it could be over for John Jones.
All that trash. Listen, all the trash John Jones been going through. He's been practicing at home, practicing in the gym, all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? All the things he's been doing, all the extracurriculars are going to pay off. And everybody's going to say, oh, my God, this dude looks better than ever.
So you think that fight's going to happen next? Ngannou, John Jones?
If Ngannou's an idiot, it will happen next, yes.
I hope
but
so.
Hey, listen. At least Ngannou will be getting the money he wants. At least we'll be having a big fight and be able to get paid a little bit, since he's a little whiny baby and talking about he's not going to sign a contract unless they give him a boxing fight and stuff. I don't hear him talking about that anymore. You
would be the most upset man on earth if Ngannou wins, but you've been having a tough time with the people that you hate. You hate Ngannou, he won. You hate Aljo, he won. I'm missing another big name and I just can't remember it. There was a big name that lost that you had winning.
Izzy didn't win. I know that.
You got lucky. You got lucky with the Sean O'Malley fight as well too. Who says? Take a little left turn. Sean O'Malley. He says he's getting a title fight next.
Yeah.
So he's not fighting Chito Vera before Aljo fights Cejudo, you think he's gonna hold out for
guess
the
not.
title fight?
You know why? I don't think Cheeto wants to have that fight. I don't think he wants to be the fight Sean. I think he knows he stole one from Sean. It was
Jesus,
a fluke, freaking
you can't be
fake,
you can't be
phony
serious.
loss. That will never happen like that. It'll never happen. Sean says it all the time. Look at all the leg kicks.
Plugs, we'll get to that, I
and
promise.
lower calf kicks that have happened since that fight. How many of them have had that happen?
So it was lucky. Hit his perennial nerve.
It is luck.
Just a stroke of luck, and he wins.
Yeah, Miller. Because if it wasn't luck, people would be hitting that on people every freaking fight they had. Why would you not do that? It's a clear, easy win.
Listen. I'm a little hesitant because listen, I feel like I was right about Sean O'Malley as far as he lost to Piotr Jan, but I will say this, Trey. I've become a Sean O'Malley fan. He's a good striker. He's a good fighter. Has pretty good takedown defense. He's really big for the division, and that helps a lot. Fighting at 135,
he is the division.
Being as big as he is interesting. He could very well beat Cheeto Vera. I think in a 5-round fight, in a 3-round fight, I might have to pick Sean O'Malley. In a 5-round fight, I think I'm leaning towards Cheeto. But you think he's gonna get the title fight next?
Take.
But you think he's gonna get the title fight next, so it's not even gonna happen.
No.
I don't think
he's gonna get it next.
Right. Go.
No. That's
I know you like the back of my head.
Relax,
So what do you
relax.
say? All right. Am I right?
You're trying to be smart.
Right.
You're trying to be smart and cute. It's not about that. I'm
What were you
saying
gonna
something
say?
genuine over here.
All right.
He's not getting the title fight next. Aljo will fight Henry for
Right.
the next title shot.
Okay.
Sean will beat whoever wins that.
So he's not fighting Cheeto in between. He's not gonna have a fight in between. He's gonna wait that long. You think?
Why would he? I mean, if they're saying they're gonna give him a title shot, why ruin that? I mean, that's the dumbest thing. Like what?
No.
That's like me saying. That's like me saying I'm gonna give you $1 million, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go put it all on red right now.
Let's say Sean wins the title.
Maybe you win,
and then fights Cheeto for the title in a rematch, which would be quite interesting too. Look, Sean has impressed me.
Yeah, that would be a great first title defense.
That's the best title defense. That'll be probably the biggest bantamweight fight. Now, I'm not saying the best, most competitive.
And guess what?
I would say the biggest
that could be the
on
first,
paper. Mm-hmm.
That would be the first card Sean would headline, be the main event for.
That'll be massive, but that's if he beats Aljo or Cejudo. My question to you now is, being the Hispanic Hawani, who's a better opponent?
Thing to claim.
Who's a better opponent for Sean O'Malley? Oh, wait, Trey, answer me this, because I just want to see if you're answering with your fandom or with with analysis.
I only answer with knowledge. I'm the source. I'm the king. I'm the one that gets it done. I'm Mr. Intel. You know what it is. I only know how to answer the correct way.
Are you picking Sean for Cejudo and Aljamain Sterling? Like he beats either one? Oh God. Okay.
Yes.
Who's all right, Trey? Let's go down this path. Who's a tougher fight for Sean? At least help me here. One has to be tougher than the other.
Tougher fight
for Sean O'Malley
would be the tougher fight for Sean O'Malley would be Henry Cejudo, 100%.
Okay, tell me why.
Because Aljo. Now listen, Aljo's a one-trick pony. We've established this.
I mean, is it Cejudo kind of?
Yes, but Cejudo has better stand-up than Aljo by far, 100%. Now, Aljo, when you stuff his takedowns, and start popping them, we've seen it with Jan. He gets frustrated. He starts throwing very, very sloppy. He stops going for the takedowns, or he goes for desperate takedowns. We've seen this. I mean, we literally have seen the tape on this. And I told y'all, just like I told y'all with the Piotr Jan, when I was correct, when Sean O'Malley won, Sean O'Malley is a counter artist. He might not always be the most aggressive in the ring. He might not always be pushing forward, even though there are times that he does and times that he does pick up the aggression. But he's a counter artist. So once Aljo starts coming forward, starts getting sloppy, starts going for the desperate takedowns, that's when Sean O'Malley will shine. That's why Aljo's the easier fighter. Now with Henry, Henry's very reserved. Henry's been here before. He's a freaking Olympian. Like this dude knows. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's just a freaking fighter. Like he grew up a fighter. He fights. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He's seasoned. He's had the belt. He's been there. He knows what he's doing. He's not a cornball like Aljo. He doesn't have the Aljo mentality where we're going to fight only 2 times a year because he knows he's going to lose the belt very soon because he sucks. Henry knows what he's doing. He's seasoned. He's been in there with wars. You know what I'm saying? With TJ, with Cody. He's seen it. He knows what it's like to go against real strikers. That's why. And on top of that, on top of having all that experience and being able to stand up and bang with them guys, he can also wrestle like Aljo. Probably better than Aljo. That's what's crazy. That's what's actually crazy.
Let me give you the best take on this, all right? I feel really strongly about everything I'm about to say.
Gave you the best take.
I really do. And you're gonna hate my closing argument. But anyways, let me say this. Cejudo's a tougher fight for Sean O'Malley. I agree with you there. Because I think he'll take Sean O'Malley to deep waters and it'll get bad. If Aljamain Sterling can't get Sean O'Malley down in the first 2 rounds, I think he'll break a little bit. Sean will start, tagging him.
Desperate, bad.
He has the range. You saw what happened in the first Jan fight. I mean, granted, he had the dietary issue, speaking of Aljamain Sterling. I don't know. What I'm scared about how I feel, and this is the part you're not going to like so much, is I don't know about Cejudo and Aljamain Sterling. I think Aljamain Sterling might be a bad matchup for Cejudo. I know that feels disgusting to say because I have Cejudo as probably the best, one of the best 135ers of all time. But Aljamain Sterling, he's big for the division, muscular, might be able to wrestle off Cejudo enough. His jiu-jitsu is good enough to be decent. I don't know if Cejudo could control him. It'll just get interesting. If Aljamain Sterling backpacks Cejudo... Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For Sean O'Malley's sake,
I don't like that I'm saying that. I'll be honest.
For Sean O'Malley's sake, I pray to God that Aljo beats Henry Cejudo. But I'm telling you right now, brother, I see no shot. I mean, Henry could take another 2 years off if he wanted to, and still come back and beat Aljo. I think
this is a big what if, Trey, and you might not like this one. I understand. My thing too is Aljamain Sterling has been active. Henry Cejudo has been out for a long time.
Not really.
I mean, with the whole neck injury, but still, he beat Jan. And then with TJ Dillashaw, okay, Dillashaw was hurt, so it wasn't a big fight, but at least he's in there. So Cejudo has been a little bit fat, been out, I mean, his fighting IQ is so great, though. I think I have to go Cejudo against Aljamain Sterling. I think I have to.
It would be disrespectful not to do that.
It's just a long layoff, and the age scares me. That's all I'm saying.
I know this sounds crazy. Aljo's unproven, and I'm dead serious. He got the belt off a phony knee. He won a fight that, I mean, I really think he did not win. I mean,
you had Jan winning that fight in the second one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's crazy that they would even that was almost the same fight that Piotr and Sean had, where it was kind of like one looked dominant and they gave it to the other one. You know what I'm saying? It was
so you admit that Piotr looked dominant against Sean?
At times, I think he did. At
Who
times,
did you
I
have
think
winning that fight? This is interesting.
Sean O'Malley and Piotr Jan.
Yeah.
2-1 Sean. Easy.
Oh my
swing
God.
Round,
See, that's where your fandom gets. Listen, Piotr Jan, I watched that fight.
Round 1.
And I was convinced that Jan
Miller,
won. Convinced.
Right, and I hear
even
you,
more.
And
even
I hear
more.
You, right.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you and I feel your passion, but I just know so much more about the UFC.
Okay.
And my IQ is so much further along than yours. Yeah. That's why they call me the source. That's why they call me the king. That's why they call me Mr. Intel, the one who gets it done.
I want to bring up Jan.
Respectfully, I disagree with what you say.
That's fine. Usually you disagree and you're wrong. We'll get back on Jan on whether he stays in the UFC. Let's just quickly diverge. Stephen Thompson, Kevin Holland real quick, since that is coming up. Obviously, I think it's fair to say even ESPN came out with an article as well, too. A bigger fight for Wonder Boy, right? Is this his last, his last chance to do something that is meaningful and potentially fight for the title if he is able to win? How do you feel about Stephen Thompson versus, or is Kevin Holland just going to crush those dreams?
Listen, Man, Wonder Boy, what a guy. I mean, he's been around for so long. Just a freaking
Like the
vet,
nicest guy.
freaking nice guy. Yeah,
Right.
literally, just a nice guy. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever said anything bad about this guy. I don't even know if he talks trash to people.
No, he kind of makes you like not want to talk trash. It seems like.
All that being fair and good. I mean, we're talking about a real life superhero here. We're talking about a real life fighter of evil, a crime stopper. Some would say.
A crime.
Kevin Holland.
The funny thing is that he kind of is. Right.
Yeah, he is.
No.
Kevin Holland is just on a new path. He's just on a tear right now. He looks great. I will say this, obviously the Kamzat fight, I don't think anybody holds a candle to that. I don't think anybody even looks at that and says this means anything one way or the other. Okay, I think it's just,
I really wish he escaped that choke and just see what would have happened in round 2.
It's over.
He had some nice scrambles against Hamzat for not being a grappler. But anyways, neither here nor there.
Yeah, exactly. He's just tough and scrappy and a scrambler. But I will say this. If Kevin Holland keeps it standing up with Wonder Boy, and Wonder Boy is able to maintain his distance and do what he does, do his kickboxing and everything,
Right.
Wonder Boy could win this fight. He could win this fight. But I just see Kevin Holland being too dominant, taking him down, whooping him. And then I don't know if that's the end for Wonder Boy. I don't know if his career is over after this. I don't know if he still tries, because obviously you're not going to get a title shot. You're not going to go in. I mean, the last time he's really, really actually been relevant was like 2015, probably 2014-ish.
Right.
So it's like, hey, buddy, you know what I'm saying? Hey, go get up in the booth, go smile at some people, talk nice about some people, and get a check up there, because it's not working out for you down here.
He lost to Burns to Bilal Muhammad, which Bilal is just one of the weirdest guys in the world. But anyways, if he beats Kevin Holland, though, what does that mean? That division is stacked, to say the least.
I still don't think it means anything. I still think he's just a ticking time bomb, whether he wins or not.
Right, and he's up there in age too. How old is Stephen Thompson? Real quick, I'll look it up. Drum roll. He is. You want to take a guess before I tell you?
I'm gonna say 37.
He is 39 years old. Up there in age.
Yeah,
up there in
there.
age. He's just in a tough division. Look who's above him. Gilbert Burns, who he's lost to. Muhammad, who he's lost to. Chimaev, Covington, Usman, Edwards. Now, the funny thing is, if he wins for some reason, let's say he wins.
You know what the funny thing is?
Yeah, what's up?
The funniest thing about all those right now, all the guys above him you just named, is his best fight that he, like his, let me think how this is. His most reasonable fight that he could win, his best chance of winning out of all those guys is Leon Edwards.
That's an interesting take.
It is.
That's an interesting take.
The best fight they could give him is Leon Edwards.
And they could make an argument that he gets the title shot.
Miller, and honestly, I don't know who wins that. I don't know who wins between Leon and Wonder Boy. Because Leon will stand there and bang with him.
Stylistically, yes. I mean, he's lost to Burns and Muhammad already. Chimaev will be a nightmare for him. Colby Covington will be a nightmare. I mean, Usman would be kind of a nightmare as well, too. Yeah. He stylistically matches up better against Edwards if it just stays striking. I still think Edwards wins. Stephen Thompson is in a weird place, but if he does beat Kevin Holland, he might get a title shot. I mean, I don't know. There's so many big names, so many big fights to be made.
That's the only way to do that, really.
He's in a weird place. Like that'll be doing him a favor as far as like if he gets a title shot.
Yeah. Like, hey, thanks for everything you've done.
You've done a lot. This is your last chance. Maybe he'll potentially lose that title fight. Most likely he will, right? So that's probably the best thing they could do for him. But with names like Chimaev and Covington, there's some big fights to make in that division. Edwards versus Covington or Masvidal or Chimaev is a bigger fight than Stephen Thompson, So he's in a weird place. I just think the best thing he could do for himself right now, and it's obvious, of course, is have an amazing performance. I think he needs it. Yeah. Not only a win, but an amazing performance.
I mean, maybe give him Masvidal after this. The only way Wonder Boy could get a title shot, I think, is if he beat Kevin, beat Masvidal, and Leon beat Usman. then I think you give Wonder Boy a title shot. All that would have to happen.
I know it's bad, but I want to see the Edwards versus Masvidal fight. I think that's the fight to make next. If Edwards beats Usman, the history, the way it will sell.
Dog Masvidal. Masvidal is
probably,
not good,
but it sells.
He don't even come to fight in shape.
But it sells.
He's like,
Trey.
you know who Masvidal is now. You know who he is. And I can't believe I'm even saying this because I feel dis. Well, that might be a better comparison actually.
Why? Who were you gonna say?
I was gonna say he's Nate Diaz. Could he win? Yeah. Is he going to be entertaining? Probably. But is he most likely going to come to the fight out of shape and get whooped? Yes. Yes. That's the highest chance of happening.
Maybe. Ironically, they fought each other, right? Snipey in the building was good. Harry, favorite welterweight fighter, GSP. Yes. And he's a GOAT. Welcome to the stream, 100% Truth. Welcome to the stream. All these new people, welcome to the stream. Drew Beta in the building. Plug is back. Jorge ducked Burns. Possibly so.
He did.
Gilbert Burns
exposed him.
Gilbert Burns.
I read that on the podcast 2 weeks ago.
Gilbert Burns he really made me think of him differently after that Chimaev fight. I thought he was done in the division.
Gatekeeper. He is. He's still done.
He might still have a chance. Him versus Colby could get interesting. That's all I'm saying.
Who?
Gilbert Burns.
Burns
will be interesting.
Bro, Colby Covington would run circles around Gilbert Burns. What do you mean?
I don't know.
Bro, what?
I kind of like it. The more I think about it, the more I like it. Let's watch Wonder Boy
Colby
snipe Masvidal again.
Covington would run circles around Gilbert Burns.
I don't know.
He'd have him in the octagon crying again. Whimpering like a little coward.
Cole says, enjoy your day, man. Fantastic show as always. Back to work. Peace. Thank you so much, Cole. He says, been watched Wonder Boy fights recently. It's noticeable he slowed down a lot and he just lacks the fire to finish fights and really work at it. He's going to need a big performance this weekend. The welterweight division is on fire. We talked about so much. Is there anything we missed before I ask you one of my next and last and final questions, Trey, that you really want to talk about?
I think it's about everything.
All right, well, if you think of anything, you let me know. Let me ask you this just out of nowhere, and I would love to ask the chat this as well, too. What's your favorite division right now in the UFC?
Well,
welterweight?
You said what?
No, nothing. Corny joke.
What did you say? What was it? I didn't hear you.
I just said terweight because you said well, so I was finishing the sentence for you, thinking I'm a smart guy. Anyways.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry I made you say that out loud.
I know.
Yeah,
I wish
awful.
I didn't. I wish I didn't. Yeah.
Dang, my favorite division right now is probably... God, I don't know. Maybe Bantam. Maybe.
Give me two.
I'll say bantamweight, maybe middleweight.
Bantamweight, middleweight. I say
I don't. That's so hard to do. Dude.
That's a tough one. The lightweight one, as weird as it sounds, that was one of the most on fire divisions. But with Islam Makhachev being the champion, I feel like there's really no one out there that the general public feels that could beat Makhachev. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, I feel like it loses a little steam. Oliveira, we don't know what he gets next. Gaethje, I don't feel Gaethje's, like, feared like he once was. Beneil Dariush deserves a shot, but he's not a big name. Chandler is another one. I don't think he'll ever win the title as well either. Fiziev is good.
Yeah.
So I like the lightweight. All I'm saying is that used to be my division. Right now, for me, easily is the bantamweight division, and right after that, it'll be the welterweight. For me, I like the middleweight division with Alex Pereira winning. What's up?
You said bantamweight is your favorite right now?
Yes, yeah. Not by far, but yes. I like the welterweight right after that.
Dude.
Oh, it's so good. Sean O'Malley's a big reason.
It is,
you got to give him credit.
Of course.
He brings excitement to the division, and it's crazy because Trey, the way I was talking about Sean O'Malley a year ago, let's be honest, it was nothing
Yeah, because you was just a hater, bro. You was just
I-
being
I wa-
disrespectful, being a hater, and I'm over here. Here I am once again telling you, hey, dude, like, why do you not like this guy? This guy's a nice guy. He's a superstar. He's gonna be nice. He's
I mean,
great.
he lost
He's
against
great.
Jan,
He's great.
so he's gotten
Sure enough,
favors.
Sure enough, I was right again. Teaching Miller about
Yeah.
UFC again because he knows nothing about the sport.
Maybe I was
What
wrong
was-
about Sean O'Malley for a year. You've been wrong about Derek Lewis for like 3.
You're an idiot.
I'm just.
You're
You've been
still wrong
literally-
about Derek Lewis could lose the rest of his fights until he retires, and you're still wrong about Derek Lewis.
I'm not, because I've said all the fights that he would lose in
I
that
hope
you've
you know
picked him
that.
for.
What
And
I
the
what I
most
sa-
heavyweight
what did I say,
knockouts
Ben?
of all time.
Yeah, of course. He
Probably
has
got knocked out the
not,
most.
not heavyweight, most knockouts,
Knockouts
of all time. Period.
Yes,
UFC.
yes.
Yeah.
We know the stat.
Yeah.
You-
So
What's
so
up,
real
Leroy?
respect. What did I say? Bantamweight and what?
You said middleweight because and there you have Pereira
Yeah.
being the champion. Adesanya, you said
and
you had
listen,
and I like your prediction. The whole
listen.
Adesanya will never be a champion again. I
Never
might
be champ again. I know.
I
I'm right
might
about
have to
that.
agree with you, because even if Whitaker takes it from Pereira, I think if they run it back, I think Whitaker beats Adesanya nowadays.
I know I'm right about that, 100%. Listen, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
Before Alex Pereira beat Izzy, I would not have said middleweight though. That's the thing.
Oh, of course. No, absolutely. It was one of the most boring
I would have
divisions.
probably said lightweight.
That's fair. That's fair. When Adesanya was the champ, it literally not killed the division, but there was no excitement behind it. He's beating everybody.
Yeah,
If he
it was-
beat Pereira, it was like, who does he
it
fight?
was
Listen, who does he
boring
fight next? Whitaker, Cannonier,
boring.
Vettori, Brunson. There's none of those names bring any kind of excitement
Trash.
at all.
Now I want to watch Alex Pereira, the true potent warrior. I want to
And
watch him fight all them guys now.
It seems like Adesanya is gonna get the immediate rematch. I think it goes even worse for him this time around.
Well, he's gonna get brutally KO'd. Like I mean, I've been y'all know all you idiots that watch, all you little fanboys in here that flutter on Miller's Johnson. Y'all know what it is. I've told y'all the whole time.
I know you were sweating that
It
fight.
wasn't at all.
Yeah, you had to.
Never
be.
1 minute.
He-
Never 1 minute. Me and Drew sitting right beside each other, ice cold faces, stares. He whoops down on Izzy. Me and Drew go nuts. The whole
Pereira
house
was down.
silence.
Pereira was down 3-1. I'm saying if oddly Whitaker beats Pereira, but it's probably not gonna happen, Leroy. I do have Alex winning that fight as well too. But I do think Whitaker does beat Adesanya if they ran it back again. The welterweight division: Usman, Covington, Chimaev, Edwards. I don't like Bilal, man. I'm sorry. And it's not the whole Philadelphia thing. I just hate the way he strikes. I hate how stiff he looks
He's
when he
just
throws
so
punches.
daggum ugly. He looks like Mr. Potato Head.
He does have
That
a
dude
big
is
ass head.
so ugly.
He does have a huge head. Snipey says Gane is underrated and held up by Jones, who won't fight again. The heavyweight division is interesting too, and the lightweight. All right, some honorable mentions. Let's say we take out.
So now everybody wants to come around, and now everybody wants to talk about how Francis is ruining the heavyweight division. He needs to leave the freaking UFC. It would have been great if he lost. Now, after I said this months ago to you dummies, after I sat here, looked in the camera, and told you dummies months ago, now y'all want to come around and talk about how the heavyweight division's stuck. It's boring. It's on standstill because of Francis, because of Gane, because of John Jones. I told y'all dummies this. I told y'all this.
Beta, you are right that it's full of gatekeepers if Izzy wins, right? Where you say facts plugs. I don't think Ngannou's doing nothing wrong. He won a huge fight against the heavyweight that they say has the footwork of a middleweight. Great win for Ngannou. Surprised me. Did Cyril Gane make mistakes? Absolutely.
That they say. Whoa,
But
whoa, whoa. Why are you
Ngannou
acting like Gane's not
capitalized.
the most? Why are you acting like Gane's not the most athletic heavyweight we've ever seen?
No, I'm saying that he is, and that's what makes Ngannou's win that much more impressive.
It was
Is
a
he taking a
phony,
long
fake
time
win.
off? It was a great win in my book. It was actually
a boring, awful, horribly. It was one of the worst fights I've ever seen.
I enjoyed the fight. It hurts me that Tom Aspinall is out because I would have loved to see him. Listen, another division that's getting quite interesting, Trey, and we're about to get out of here, is if you guys want to talk about anything specifically, let us know. Like if you're like, please don't miss this, just let me know in the chat before we get out of here. I like the light heavyweight division. The whole Hiri
Yes.
dropping out kind of sucks.
Yes.
But Glover's still looming. Ankalaev, Rakic still right around there. You have Anthony Smith, which you hate.
He got hurt, right? Something happened to him where he got hurt with his leg. That was the KO he had against Jan, even though Jan was looking great against him. But he ended up hitting him weird in his leg. I believe he got a leg injury.
He had an MRI that confirmed he tore his ACL.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I thought. So Rakic will be out for a while, and then listen, ACL, MCL, ACL, all the knee stuff that goes on. You see this happen in sports every single day. Sometimes they don't come back the same. Sometimes they're moving different, and they don't have the same power they had with that.
Harry might not come back the same as well too. Ooh, the James Krause situation is interesting, Snipey. I'll bring that up in a second. You have names, Trey, like Jamal Hill, which I don't know how you feel about him, but he's an entertainer. Ryan Spann, entertainer.
I love him. I think he's great.
Oh, nice.
No, Ryan Spann sucks.
Ryan Spann is dangerous, and he could potentially be fighting for the title in the year 2023, maybe 2024. Next? Who's that?
You know who he should fight next?
Who's that?
Johnny Walker.
Oh, I mean, Ryan Spann wins that.
And you know what's crazy? Johnny Walker would probably knock out Ryan Spann because that's how big of a bum Ryan Spann is.
That's a disgusting take.
Oh, are we still talking about this freaking cornball, dude? How does he get talked about? What is he ranked now? Do they have the new rankings out?
He wasn't. They have him currently. Ryan Spann number 10. I don't know if they're. I think that's the latest update. What was I gonna say though? I was gonna say something before. I forget. But I like Ryan Spann. I know you don't like him, but listen, impressive win recently against Dominic Reyes, who he almost beat the GOAT in John Jones, which is pretty crazy. He beat Kutalaba, beats Dominic Reyes. He has Nikita Krylov up next.
Can we talk about Dominic Reyes needs to be booted from the UFC immediately?
He might be.
He looks awful.
Everything hurts him. Everything hurts him.
At this point, he's getting $15,000 just to get more CTE. Seriously,
it's bad.
Seriously,
it's bad.
He took. I know y'all remember the Yuri knockout. It was knockout of the daggum year across his chin. Yuri did a spinning back elbow up against the fence and knocked out Dominic Reyes, and he takes this whole time off talking about, oh yeah, my defense. I think my defense has got better. They really helped me with that. All this stuff, talking all this trash. I changed my camps. Like I'm looking good.
It's bad,
bro. Yeah, you look like me right now.
Let's get to some chat questions, Trey, to close up because we've been on for long enough, and I like a lot of them as well too. So guys, thank you for bringing up some topics that is quite interesting. And let's try to go through them quickly so then we get out of here, Trey. We'll be back Thursday on Twitch, right? Okay, Beta Quest says, what about Tuivasa? Do you think he recovers after his loss?
I think Ty definitely recovers. I think he's still, it was a tough fight, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It happens. He was on a crazy run too. After his last loss, he went on a freaking 6-7 fight.
Beat some big names. Beat your boy Derek Lewis.
Beat some big names. Yeah, beat one of the legends, the Hall of Famers of the UFC, and Derek Lewis. And now he's fighting a guy who, we don't really know about, right? Like he just knocked out. Is this the guy that knocked out Derek Lewis that he's fighting next? I believe.
The Spivak.
Yeah, Sergey. He's fighting Sergey, right?
I believe he is. I'll look it up real quick. What I was gonna say about Pavlovich. I'm sorry, not Spivak. Yeah, Sergey. Yeah, Pavlovich, who knocked out Derek Lewis as well too.
Yeah, exactly. And that dude looks scary. That dude looks like he has heavy hands. So that would be another good test for him. We don't know about Sergey, however you say his name, because he's newer to the UFC. But I think Ty bounces back. He went on his run after his last loss. He knows what it's like to lose and come back and fight again.
I think the best way I could put it is Tai Tuivasa and Gilbert Burns gained their stock rose even after losing. Gilbert Burns after Hamza Chimaev, Tai Tuivasa after in his most recent fight. And the reason I say that is because Cyril Gane was such a good fighter, and I thought Tai Tuivasa did better than most people expected. He took some heavy shots. He also landed some big shots, something Lewis wasn't able to do against Gane. Tuivasa, I do think he bounces back. Also, I think he's more durable. I think he's more durable than people believe he was before that fight. Yes, Trey. Why are you laughing? You want to
Because
say
you're
anything?
being disrespectful to a guy who has the
Oh, here we
most
go.
knockouts.
Right.
Knockouts. Putting people
Right.
to sleep in the UFC. And you're going to talk disrespectful about him. I just think that's funny.
Trey, did you hear about the James Krause situation?
James Krause. Is that the girl who was
No,
what's her name exposed?
that's a guy with the whole.
Is that the got exposed by Megan Anderson? You talking about that?
No. He's with the whole betting thing. I was just watching Mortal Kombat and MK talking about that as well too.
And also it is the guy who got exposed by Megan Anderson, by the way.
Oh, it is. Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah, it is. But I did hear about that. I'm still. Did they ever? I heard they were gonna have like an investigation into that. I don't know what they concluded on that, but I'm still like up in the air. They're mad at him because he didn't report an injury to the UFC. That's like the whole thing, right? He
Some
hurt his knee or something like that and didn't report it.
something was very weird behind. Yes. Backstage as far as like the whole injury thing and also some bet. I forget what it was exactly.
Well, there was a lot of bets going on, and after supposedly or something, even after they raised the sports book got suspicious, so they raised the bets and made the other guy a favor even more, and they still had even more money coming in on that fight, which made them say, "Hey, something's going on here." Like obviously, there's been some information leaked that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind
Yeah.
of like. You know what I'm saying? Screw Vegas. Y'all always get that one leg up on us. Like, let the people get one leg up this time. But it's like, you know how it is. Vegas runs everything. They get the control of that. So, but yeah, basically what happened is he got hurt or whatever, didn't report it. They started getting bets against him. So, like betters, big time cappers, like me, myself, started betting against him. So the sports book raised the odds, which means the money you would put up is worth less. You know what I'm saying? So it makes the outcome worse for you in a way because they're betting against them. So it would be like, say it was he was a minus 250 favorite. They raised it up to minus 350. So now you have to pay 350 for every $100 pretty much. And they still had bets coming in when they did that, and that's what made everybody suspicious and made them investigate it.
Krause was not allowed to corner UFC bantamweight fighter Miles. That's what it was. Miles Johns during the UFC Fight Night event Saturday in Las Vegas in the wake of an investigation into suspicious betting activity on a UFC bout earlier this month. So I know it was something like a long history of
that's just like so basically after he had that fight where all that stuff happened, right, where all that money gambling and everything, he also trains people. Okay, he's a trainer too. Let me teach you a little bit about the UFC. Y'all can get some real knowledge from the source right here. He's also a trainer. Can't remember the gym he trains at, but I want to say it's on the East Coast. And he had a fighter come out. He was going to corner him. The UFC took him away because all the stuff that was going on with the investigation
and that's what's going on right now. That investigation.
So they did not let him corner him, and that's the investigation that's going on with everything. Yes.
Which is pretty fascinating. So let's see what happens there. He has a YouTube channel I used to watch too. I forget the name of it. He has great camera quality as well. So I don't know if you guys watch him as well. I watch him here and there.
Not to mention either he's married or Sanko is married.
Too, with the whole Megan thing.
Do you hear? Yeah, Megan exposed Sanko, which is she's so bad. I mean, God, what a lucky guy
Laura?
James Krause is. But yeah, and said they were hooking up on the low. James Krause going through it right now.
Ryan is fighting Krylov or whatever his name. Yeah, he's fighting Nikita. Which, bro, listen, that gets didn't he? Let me see if I catch it. Thank you for doing this episode. Not having the best Monday, but it's getting better. Thank you, Risky. Thank you for being here. Ty fighting this weekend too. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Ty on that one. I think he's more durable, and with that experience against Cyril Gane is gonna get interesting. Just some crazy punishment in that Gane fight though. Yes, and we don't know how he's gonna come back after that. Who wins? Brian Barberena versus RDA Trey.
I like Barberena. That dude's a dog. I mean, he came out and whooped on Robbie Lawler his last fight. I believe it was his last fight. RDA, I think he had the life beat out of him by Fiziev, so I don't know if he's going to do anything great.
Supposedly, Krause told his fighter to take a dive. That's another rumor going on as well too. So I would look more into that.
I mean, that's new, but that's not why they escorted him from the corner. I know that.
And then Harry Hayes says, I think Hill is fighting Smith next. How do you think that fight goes? Let's answer that before we get out of here.
Jamal Hill versus Anthony Smith?
Yes.
Get that cougar heart bummy boy out of here. I can't stand this guy. I'm so sick of looking at him with his freaking 4 eyes up there talking about people like he knows what he's talking about. He's a bum. Jamal Hill's going to win. I love Sweet Dreams. I mean, he's a dog. He gets after it. And that's very simple. I mean, I don't have nothing to say about Anthony Smith anymore. I'm tired of listening about this bum. He's a cornball. He's talking about Conor just to stay relevant because nobody talks about his fightings because he is a lame. He is a lame. Nobody cares about him.
That fight takes place March 11, 2023. I like that fight a lot between Hill and Anthony Smith. I love
Jamal Hill in that fight.
And I like Jamal Hill a lot. I might have to pick Anthony Smith. I think he's due for a return. We'll talk about that more. And I like him as an analyst. Don't kill the messenger. I think he's a pretty decent analyst.
That dude is a freaking bum. He's so lame. Dude.
Does he get a little too emotional?
You like all the losers and cornballs. So
he does get a little weird. He had some weird takes with not only the Conor thing, the Jake Paul thing. I thought he had a weird take as well with that too. So looked like he was hating a bit on that situation. Retirement for Smith says Beta Quest. Yep. I think we covered everything, guys. It feels absolutely amazing to be back. Trey is back in the building, and I will say, I do think that we did a decent job of just being random. Where I had topics, but we kind of just went off the rails, and it felt good.
Yeah,
talking about a bunch of
big
different
week
fighters.
in the UFC this week, really.
Especially,
I mean, it was
right.
It was, but it's mostly Yuri being injured, and
which is tough. This weekend, we might cover that UFC fight or event. I'm sorry. I was just looking up the boxing fight that's going. I think it's also Chisora versus Fury, which I hate that fight and I'm not excited for, but I might cover it if it's on the Zone. Let me see what that's on. Besides that, guys, Twitch, we will be here Thursday. Where to watch? We will be here Thursday. The content is going to start rolling for you guys just like it was before. Sorry for the long delay. It's been a while, but we're back completely. Trey, anything you want to tell us? It's great to have you back, Trey, and do another episode. Episode 24. This was a nice one. Of course. The Sean O'Malley conversation was interesting.
This is the most knowledge I've been able to pour in y'all for a while now, and I know y'all been just yearning for it. I'm the smartest guy in the UFC. I'm the best captain in the UFC. I make more money betting in the UFC than any of you make in your day jobs or night jobs. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're slinging it on the side or whatever you're doing. I'm still making more money than you. I told y'all. I really do this. I'm the source. I'm the king. I'm the one who gets it done. I'm Mr. Intel. I'm Mr. Newsbreaker. I'm doing it every freaking time I'm on this. Now, I'm happy y'all got to come to my TED Talk and learn a little bit more. I know every single one of you said you were thankful for me around your tables this past Thursday when y'all were celebrating Thanksgiving. And if you wasn't celebrating Thanksgiving, then I could care less about your opinion because you're below me. Now, I told y'all once, and I'll say it again. I'm the source. I'm Mr. Intel. I'm the king. Look, that's exactly what Miller is on his desk right there. That's what Miller is. Y'all can read between the lines on that one. That's exactly what he is. And I'm out of here, baby. Mr. Intel's gone. I'm gone. Hey, you know what it is, baby. Support the 2A, and I'll see you next week for more knowledge. We got.
It's great to have you back, Trey. He does his infamous leaving the way he always does. Snipey, later, my guy, Leroy. Peace, Harry, good to have you here. All the new people, if you're new, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. We're here every Monday and then Thursday on Twitch, and the content will start rolling out more frequently. I apologize for the 12 days, 11 days of no content. We're going to be rolling the ball with content. Twitch, guys, Thursdays. If you're not following on Twitch, go follow there. It's a lot of fun. My man Beta will be there, hopefully, if he has nothing scheduled, because me and Beta just have a great time. We got to finish that Arguello fight and a couple other things that I wrote down, which should be fun, guys. Thank you for a fun night as always. God bless. Good night. #1 commentary channel on YouTube, and we're going to start rolling out that content like crazy. Back on the grind, guys. Happy to be here. Love you guys. We're back. Peace.
I'm the best ever. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.
Yo, bounce guy, go off.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
Wilder's in a world of trouble, closing seconds. Can he weather the storm here in the third round?
And of all the superlative.
We'll do that, Beta. We'll add that to the list. I have a whole list here, so gotcha.
Big right hook, lands flush for Cambosos, and that knocks down Teofimo Lopez.
We have ourselves a fight.
Khabib Nurmagomedov gets a triangle choke from up top. Gaethje's out, and the fight is over. The triangle choke for Khabib Nurmagomedov.
And Porter gets knocked down. He gets knocked down again. 10th round TKO win.
Left uppercut, and that knocks out Leo. It appears he's out cold. The fight is over. It was a counter left uppercut, and just like that, what a left uppercut. I did not see that coming, ladies and gentlemen. I will have to admit, what a fight.
Nice celebration or a 3K video. I don't know, man. To hit 3,000 subscribers in like
Right hook to the body for Campbell. Left hook to the body for Garcia. And that knocked down Campbell. It was a left hook to the body. Campbell on the ground. The count is on. Can he make his way up? It appears he can't get up. Campbell on the ground. Trying to stand up. And the fight is over. Ryan
I gotta add
Garcia
that
with
move.
a